Despite all the challenges we face, I remain convinced that, yes, the future is female.
If ever there were a win-win situation, right?
Yep. Donald Trump. He's back and he's pissed. I wonder if he'll be going forward and do things to make our country safe.
We'll be going forward. We'll be doing things to continue to make our country safe. It will happen rapidly, and we will not allow people into our country who are looking to do harm to our people. We will allow lots of people into our country that will love our people and do good for our country. It's always going to be that way, at least during my administration. I can tell you that.
I can tell you that. After a 3-judge panel upheld the decision to halt the travel ban, the lawyers arguing the case before the Ninth Circuit took a victory lap.
It's the role of the courts to say what the law is and to serve as a check on the executive branch, and that's what the court has done in this opinion, in this excellent opinion, this well-reasoned, careful, thoughtful opinion.
Oh, God, dude, you won. You don't have to kiss the circuit's ass. Anything else, Bozo?
Most especially, I want to thank the people across our office, as the Attorney General was saying, people in my office like Ann Eagler, Kelly Paradis, Kelly Wood, Kristen, Wendy, anyway.
What the hell are you doing? This is not the Oscars. Oh, I'd like to thank my agent's family, my gardener, the people who clip my lawn, please. Meanwhile, on Twitter, someone named Hillary Clinton tweeted 3-0 about the ruling. That's kind of sad. She's like an old man sitting outside a ballpark with a transistor radio because she doesn't have a ticket to the game. Go home, little lady. Play Yahtzee. You got grandkids. So now the president has some options. He may fight it out on the merits in district court. He could take it to the Supreme Court. They wear robes to work. They're perverts. Or he can scrap the executive order and try a different approach, like this. For that. Now, the court's ruling reflected an emotional need for popularity, which to them trumps actual security. Ignoring facts over terror, they knew they would be rewarded by a pliant media who treated this like the moon landing. You know there's going to be a movie about this. I just hope Matt Damon plays the female judge. So, who's a fan of the travel ban? America. And get this, Europe. According to a massive poll in 10 European countries, a majority would support a similar halt in immigration. A ban was supported by 71% of people in Poland, 65% in Austria, 53% in Germany. I guess that makes them all racist. So a bunch of good people like the ban, but 3 judges decided that it's just too mean. For they believe that anything that restricts Islamic terrorism will inflame all Muslims. Isn't this weird? So it's them who conflate terrorism with Islam. They're the bigots, not us. Screw them. All right. Let's welcome tonight's guest, shall we? This is so exciting. He's saltier than your boots in a snowstorm. One of my co-hosts on The Five, Mr. Bob Beckel. She's as hot as I am not. She's also one of my co-hosts on The Five, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Fancy that.
He puts the win in Baldwin. He's my favorite Baldwin brother, actor and producer Stephen Baldwin. If it were possible to bottle sunshine, she wouldn't. The miserable National Review reporter and Fox News contributor, Katherine Timpf. Boo. All right.
I live.
All right. So I was going to go one way with this show and talk about what the Trump administration should do next. But Stephen Baldwin said something very striking in the green room, and I want you to talk about it here because I think it's important.
Do you remember what it was, Stephen? What I told you was, Greg, we're headed towards civil war here in America.
Oh
You
my
said
God.
that.
That's what I was
Just
saying.
like that.
Yeah, you said that. You said in 24 months there's going to be a civil war. Why is
So
that?
between now and the next 24 months, it sure doesn't look like it's getting any warmer and fuzzier, Greg.
Yeah, that is true. At least you're not panicking.
No,
Exactly.
I'm good. Me and my homies in upstate New York.
Yeah, you got a
You know
farmhouse.
what I'm saying?
You got a farmhouse.
We're good.
You got your little container of seeds, and your little panic room. Did you see the container of seeds you buy when the world's gonna end?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
like prepper
plant
stuff.
Kimberly, you're
on it.
thinking of different seeds.
No, I'm thinking somebody better get to planting and cooking. It's not going to be me.
Baldwin, what did you have before you went on this show? I mean, what kind of medication?
No, he had the free sandwiches.
Oh, that's what it was.
All right,
The 3 sandwiches?
No, free.
Oh. Sorry.
you're the one who has 3.
I didn't. I had cheese and crackers.
All right, this is going off the rails. I want to talk to the lawyer here.
Come to mama.
People who used to do rails are getting off the rails. All right, Kimberly.
All right. So
You're the lawyer here.
True.
Trump administration, what should it do next?
All right, a number of things. One, don't be disillusioned, right, by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. They are overturned by the United States Supreme Court 80% of the time.
Yeah.
So they're just crazy.
They're like a bakery.
Yeah,
All they
this is
do
the
is
problem.
turn over.
This is the problem. They're like little pancakes. Just flip them this way and that way, but they'd probably be better with maple syrup like everything in life.
Yes.
So what he needs to do is he's going to take it to the district court and try to prevail there, but I think that he should simultaneously draft a new executive order that is even more specific and narrowly tailored, and he can pursue both of those avenues at the same time. One, if he's able to succeed with the executive order that he redrafts, right, so that it removes any objections. At the same time, he could prevail in the court. It's an important precedent to establish.
Well done, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Yeah.
This is why. Let's start. All right, Bob. I have a question for you. I think you've got mixed feelings about this because you are the strongest critic when it comes to radical Islam. Yet you're probably happy that Trump got served, correct?
Well, hell yeah. Listen, what Donald Trump learned yesterday, finally, was that there's more than one branch of government, and there's more than just one CEO running a company. And that's what he thinks it is. So he got it handed to him. Look, if he was right, Kimberly's right. He's got 2 options. He'll win eventually. He's going to win on the merits of the law.
And Supreme Court will vote for him.
Why don't you head to upstate New York now, Baldwin? It's a good idea. But in the end, you ask yourself, they're going to rewrite your order. Why the hell didn't they think about that before they wrote it?
Because they wanted to surprise the terrorists.
Yeah.
You know, like President
big
Obama,
surprise.
he sends a save the date card when he invades.
Surprise.
I was going to say, I've heard that one.
Oh, Kat, you're not supposed to remember those
But
jokes.
it's actually true.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah.
All right, Kat, thoughts on this and anything else in this world that troubles you?
Oh, boy. Well, look, Trump is part of the reason why people are conflating this with a Muslim ban, because during his campaign, he said he wanted a Muslim ban.
Yes.
So we do have to recognize that as this could be, a different form of it that's technically a classier form of it. But, yeah, he's eventually is going to win. It's a very, very liberal district court. It doesn't represent the general opinion. And also, he said he's going to win. And normally, when he says he's going to win, no matter how unlikely it is, he kind of does. I've never loved anything as much as this guy loves Trump.
I know. He loves Trump more than Trump loves Trump.
Look at him. He looks like it.
Yes. How's your family taking the... Oh, God, I got to ask you. How's your family taking the Trump win?
I'm pissing Bob off. I haven't said a word.
Go ahead.
How's your family taking
you? A lot of Trump people.
Now that Trump won? Like your family, how are they taking it, the Baldwins?
Haven't spoken to anybody.
Do you ever make your brother dress up like Trump for you?
No.
Now you're gonna.
Would you like me to have that?
No.
Here's what bothers me about the travel ban.
That's
People
pretty
keep
funny.
saying it's a recruitment tool without any evidence whatsoever.
Lying.
They said that about Gitmo.
Right.
There's no evidence, Bob. The other thing too is how giddy the press was when the decision came down. They were so excited. It was like the press won. That's a bit weird to me.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, they've been getting beat up so badly, and there was a poll out today, right, to show that the press was unpopular.
Right.
As if something we didn't know.
Dishonest.
Dishonest.
Yeah.
Well, it's also something we didn't know. So
untruthful.
this is a big deal.
Boy,
for
those
the Trump
Clintons,
people.
they're
But
just
at the
as
same
honest
time,
as the day is long.
Half the Americans think that Donald Trump doesn't tell the truth. And that's, I'll tell you, they're off by about 20 points. I don't think this guy knows how to tell the truth, but he gets himself in trouble. You know, he
Where are you
steps.
getting this
He
from?
steps. What do you mean? Where I made, out of his mouth?
No.
That
wasn't even the call of the question.
Anybody who wants to keep going on about, you know, he's still back to how many people turned out to vote illegally in New Hampshire now. Why doesn't he let it go? I mean, the guy just.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight
Just
up,
as honest as you. Why do you hate him so much?
I don't hate him.
Oh, you don't?
I've known him for a long time. I mean, we don't like each other, but I don't hate the guy. I think he could be a nice guy. But as president of the United States, you watch.
So what word
He's
would
not
you
going
use
to
if
make
it's
it
not
4 years.
hate? But you know.
No. Just look at him. Look at him. I mean, what is
No,
happening?
That's not a good argument. Look at him. Because we could do that to the left
You
all day.
agree with him on national security and fighting radicals?
That's not a handsome group of people. The liberals are getting old and scary looking, Bob. Now, I'm not talking about you, but if you look at your side, it really is like the...
Oh, my God.
Another good argument.
That means the editors tonight
He was
will
doing
have
that
to be
Trump
like,
thing. You know when Trump goes like this?
Yeah, Trump thing like this.
We got to go to the
Boom.
teams because we got so
my
much
God.
more. This is a crazy show. It just started. Coming up, a story so spicy you'll need to chase it with Pepto. But first, guess who's now bravely speaking out after keeping silent for 8 years? If you said America's wimpy comedians, you win. But I have nothing for you. This isn't Match Game. All right, another full week for President Trump. He got his education secretary approved. He got his attorney general approved. He got his health and human services guy in. He met with moderate Democrats. He met with airline execs and CEOs. He met with the Japanese prime minister and put his hand in a vice grip. Keep your eye on Shinzo. He's going to have to start using his left hand for a while. That's not all. Trump talked to the Sheriff's Association. He had lunch with the troops. He then fought off a bunch of warriors invading the village. I kid, I think. But damn, he's busy. Check this out.
In a world of high crime, one man made sure crime didn't pay. Nude Man Doing the Crossword on a Unicorn presents Donald J. Trump, Jeff Sessions, and Michael Winslow as Jonesy.
Your day is over. A new era of justice begins.
Executive Action 3, Justice Strikes Back.
Yeah! There's a new sheriff in town, and he's working harder than a broom at a barbershop. Meanwhile, I haven't flossed in 2 days. But when you look at everything he's done, it's kind of normal. Nothing crazy going on, yet our nation's precious comedians act like the world is collapsing.
What has he done?
Donald Trump was out on the White House lawn anyway, making a snowman earlier today. And because it was white, he appointed it to his cabinet. And
it's not a surprise that Trump is looking to cash in. I mean, we saw this coming when during the inauguration he put his hand on the Bible and swore to, quote, get rich or die trying.
The latest polls show President Trump has an approval rating in the low 40s, which means he's probably about to dump it for one in the low 20s.
Terrible.
Funny. They see Trump as a combination of Hitler, Satan, and that guy in the Trivago ads. You know who I'm talking about.
He's pretty good.
I hate him. Now, why is this? This gives the comedians the excuse to finally find their balls, which went AWOL the past 8 years. The Washington Post ran a piece about all the brave comics now speaking truth to power after they were kept like caged concubines under Obama's bed. Why so bold now? Well, before, if you criticized Obama, you'd lose friends, miss out on parties, you wouldn't get the free cocaine. See, making fun of Obama, it took guts and nuts. So instead, they saved their ammo for Trump. But it's not like there was a lack of material under Obama. You had Obamacare, the IRS scandal, Solyndra, his executive orders. You had the Iran deal. You had Benghazi, the national debt. You had him calling terrorism workplace violence. That's 20 years of material packed into 8. The problem is none of it is funny. Obama's blunders just aren't as LOL as Trump's achievements. Obama posting the worst economic growth since Herbert Hoover, it's boring. And comedians aren't that good at math. But Trump's hair, it writes itself. Literally, I think it can write.
Period.
Right.
Yes, Bob. Yes, Bob.
Tell me, first of all, Trump's so easy to make fun of. That's one thing. But tell me one thing he's gotten done, can you?
I just went through a litany. That was, what were you doing, sleeping?
During this show, maybe. No, I love
What
this
a
show. Don't
hater.
get me. No, listen, Trump, are you kidding me? The guy gives you more material in a day.
What are you talking about, Bob?
Why do you always say that?
Because I don't understand what you're saying.
That's because you're Puerto Rican and Irish. And the
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, no, but
no, that's a compliment.
Don't you wish you were?
Actually, I'm part Irish.
Thank you.
But
no, the part of Irish that you were has been removed.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny. How about Ivanka Trump and her line of clothing? That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, if you got to reach for that, Bob, you know you got to reach for something. I want to ask Mr. Baldwin,
sir,
about the comedian part of this.
Yes.
After SNL did their little thing on Sean Spicer, you noticed something very interesting.
Well, I'm driving in my car the next day, and they're like news reports and this, and they're talking, and pretty credible shows, and they're like, MSNBC Radio or whatever on Sirius, they're sitting there going like, oh yeah, boy, she did such a terrific job with that impersonation. I mean, obviously, Mr. Spicer won't be around for much longer
Yes.
now. And I'm going, really? Like, these people's perception is that Hollywood actually has that much power and influence that this president's going to go, well, Spicer can't stay anymore now. Yeah, they don't even care at all.
Good for them, though. I'm glad when comedians do the thing they're supposed to do, which is comedy,
right,
rather than getting on TV and crying over Trump.
That is true.
Like, yeah, okay, I'll high-five you. Or like Rosie O'Donnell saying she wants to play Steve Bannon, great. Now she's not saying she wants to somehow enact martial law using the military powers that she was under the delusion that she had. So go ahead and make the jokes. Yes, they only make them, about the people that are going to keep them popular. But at least they are, done crying and having panic attacks, and because that's boring for me to watch.
You know why Spicer? You know why the SNL thing worked for Spicer? Because and the reason he's going to be gone, it has nothing to do with comedians. It's because he's no good.
Oh.
Well, that at least makes more sense than because of
I mean, the guy is just, maybe a nice guy, but do you really think this is a good press secretary? Guy comes out, first thing he does is lie to the press, and then walks away, is afraid to take questions.
Bob,
now he comes out and tries to cover up for his boss every day.
You seem to me like you're a great American. So what I want to ask you is this.
Oh
shouldn't we even give President Trump any chance at all, or just no?
I said that the very. I said we should do that.
Because what's coming out of your mouth now isn't giving him a chance at all.
I said give him a chance and give him 3 weeks and leading.
By the way, Bob, no offense, but I know somebody here who's been given a few chances.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, but
no, you didn't.
The difference was that Trump wasn't on drugs.
Well, none that we know of.
Yeah, we know that he doesn't drink.
Yeah, he doesn't
Wait,
drink.
what were you going to say about Billy?
Oh, we were talking about that. You got Rosie, now maybe Bannon. Billy Baldwin apparently is putting the word out. He's ready to play Eric Trump.
I saw that.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
But
What's really funny is all the Baldwin brothers are going to get Trump gigs, and
why don't you be Donnie Jr. then?
No, I'd rather.
You kind of do have a Trump
I'd
gig,
rather be
though.
the guy.
Yeah.
I'd rather be
What
the
you're
guy
doing.
that over the next 4 years makes so much money I could just buy all of that Trump stuff they're doing.
Right.
You should become Bannon then. That's what you should do.
No, Rosie O'Donnell is Bannon.
So be nice about Bannon.
No, that's it. Last word, Kimberly.
I like Bannon. I get along with him very well.
What does that mean?
No, I think he's smart. I think he's very smart.
He's
got great
smart.
ideas, and he was able to be the chief strategist, to able to put Donald Trump
Bob,
in
what do
the
you
White
think of
House,
Bannon?
which I'm very happy about.
What do I
Right?
think of Bannon? I do the best I could do not thinking about Bannon because it scares the hell out of me.
All right.
Second only to you. Yeah.
Anything that scares liberals is good. For example, law and order. Law and order, strong military,
Scares me.
bathing.
Oh, I thought you meant the show.
Bathing?
All right.
No, just Bob.
Yeah, I love Bob.
That was a cheap shot.
Which one?
All of
There were
them.
about 400 in there.
That's fine.
But you had a few.
All
You had a
those
few on
liberals.
Kimberly.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
When?
Coming up, a story so refreshing you want to put a little umbrella in it and drink it on the beach. But first, is it right to call people who throw rocks and set things on fire protesters? Or would a better word be violent jackass? That's 2 words. All right, some fun protest facts. A poll of protesters in Berlin found that 92% lived with their parents and 1 in 3 is unemployed. Now, I didn't say they were surprising protest facts. I just said they were fun. Meanwhile, over here, brutality is being redefined as protest. Now, for decades, the conventional wisdom's always been a nonviolent protest is best. But just like everything else, that wisdom's being challenged. Activists are now saying someone like Trump merits a violent reaction. And a former student from Berkeley says that to ask people to maintain a peaceful dialogue is, quote, a violent act in itself. I wonder if she bathes. So now some states want tougher penalties for those who destroy public property and riot. Last year in North Dakota, authorities say fires were likely intentionally set at pipeline construction sites, causing $2 million worth of damage. More recently, Dakota protesters also left a mountain of garbage that now threatens to contaminate the surrounding rivers. An effective outcome for a protest against something you think will hurt the environment. Makes no sense. 8 states are looking at new laws that would include protection for drivers who unintentionally run over activists who block roads, as well as forcing protesters to pay up to 3 times the cost of damages they cause. Just a side note, I really love this. One lawmaker termed such acts as, quote, economic terrorism. So we went to some protesters for a response.
I'm disgusted! I'm a protester! How dare you! How dare you! Protect neo-Nazis! You!
Ah, girl of my dreams, Kimberly, lawyer. Lawyer.
You're not her.
These laws, can this happen? I love these rules.
Yeah.
I know unintentionally running over an activist sounds cruel, but unintentionally running over an activist is an accident. You shouldn't be punished.
Well, obviously, because it's unintentional.
Yes.
Thank you so much, because it lacks the
When you step on the
mens
gas,
rea.
that could be unintentional.
You can have a shake.
Up to a trier of fact, up to a jury. But I mean, unintentional,
Yeah.
no specific intent,
Yeah.
no mens rea.
My foot fell asleep.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
That happens a
But
lot
you,
when you're driving.
You have the little restless leg.
Yes, I do.
So you can just like tap on it a little bit too much.
But this could happen. I think this is great news, Bob, because you're a protester. Yeah. You hate violence. You hate people who taint protest with violence, so you should applaud this.
Well, I may give it up for tonight, just for a moment with you and Baldwin. But you know, one of the things about these protesters, the way you set this up, this is all the liberals, all the Democrats,
Yes.
are all like this.
You guys never do that
not.
to the right.
But I agree with these. If these people do violent protests, they ought to be arrested. They ought to be prosecuted. I'm for that. Now, I want to know why that didn't happen at Trump's rallies around the country when his thugs beat people up.
No, okay, Bob.
People at Berkeley were throwing fire into the air and throwing rocks at cops. And the response, there is on UC Berkeley's website, there's a response with a list of articles from current students and past students about how violence and protest can be a good thing. And so it's a radical conservative view for people to say that, well,
the mayor did nothing.
But a lot of the articles said liberals like you who try to distance themselves from that are idiots and they should check their privilege and violence is good. But I mean, obviously that's not true because the general public opinion is throwing rocks at cops is bad, hurling fire in the air is bad. So if you're going to change public opinion against you if you don't, if you do link yourself to that. But it's very, very radical stuff that's becoming more and more mainstream.
Why all these questions? By the way, is that your second monologue you did? I was curious. Why is this always coming back to giving me? I mean, I've wondered about that. Seriously.
I don't really think I
because you're the one spewing it.
I could say something. I could say something right now, but I'm not going to say it because it's got.
But I have a good idea.
Okay, Stephen.
Bob, seriously, right now, we want to give you the opportunity. Just look in the camera and tell those folks, stand down and let's do the right thing and let's all come together and give the
They will throw fire in your face.
But
and college students will be like,
Bob,
yeah,
isn't
great
that
job.
a good idea? That right now you can speak to those people and yourself. You could go, hey, stop with the violence. Stop. If you want to peacefully protest, go ahead.
Did you see what they did to Betsy DeVos today? DeVos.
Well, that was worthwhile. That woman never been to public school.
You want to just look how
okay, but you know what? It's not just about her. It's about school choice, and there's a huge difference between a sad day for unions versus a sad day for kids, and making teachers have to be held more accountable and giving people more options.
You think this woman's qualified to be?
I'm not talking about her specifically. I'm talking about school choice. It's not the same to say people should have more choices. People are like, you said kids are going to die. Kids should die. It's not the same.
Can I show you this piece of tape of them blocking her from blocking her from going into a school? Let's watch this tape, shall we?
Keep giving money to senators and buying your way to the position. You should be so proud of yourself. So proud of yourself. Go back. Shame! 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 Shame!
You know, the shame is he's probably living at home with his parents, and he wakes up every morning to sniff his fingers.
Ew!
Look.
That's nice, Greg. That's really nice.
What is the deal? These people are educational obstructionists, okay? They don't want children to have the benefit of a quality education, to pull themselves out of these impoverished communities, to have a chance in life and stop the cycle of violence and poverty. That's the problem.
The overwhelming percentage of public schools. You got your union shot in, didn't you? You got to stay out of those union halls. The fact is that most of these public schools are just fine. In the inner cities, you always pick out Washington or Chicago and say, oh, there's an example. This broad hasn't seen any. Oh, that's wrong.
You know what I find interesting, though, Bob? The biggest champions of public school, like Barack Obama, sent their kids to private school. Also, I want to make an interesting point that wasn't my point, but somebody on Twitter said it's always the Democrats that are blocking entrances to schools.
Right. There you go.
Kids in inner city communities who go to charter schools do better than the ones that go to public schools. That's just a fact.
What?
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yes, it is.
Charter schools have been a failure in state after state.
No, they have not,
yes,
Bob.
They
You're
have.
making this up again.
No, I'm not making it up.
You're completely wrong. Oh,
no, I'm not completely wrong.
You're wrong.
First of all,
look at Detroit and the number of children that enroll and try to go to charter schools to get a better education. Look at the Harlem
Go
Success
to North
Academy.
Carolina, where most of it started, and you'll find that their test scores are no better than public schools.
What are you so afraid of?
We will get our crack brain room.
Well, the reason I have a problem with DeVos is she's a billionaire who bought herself a seat because
Coming up,
Trump owed her.
A story so gripping you'll think it's a hug from Joe Biden. But first, Hillary Clinton says the future is female. Good thing I'm on hormone therapy.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
For the Dems this week, started off bleak. Hillary Clinton made her first public remarks since President Trump's inauguration. I'm sorry, I didn't know how that got in there. Here she is talking about the Women's March on Washington in a video taped for this week's Makers Conference.
Despite all the challenges we face, I remain convinced that yes, the future is female. Just look at the amazing energy we saw last month as women organized a march that galvanized millions of people all over our country and across the world.
That was the opposite of natural. It's like those animatronic presidents, well, almost presidents, in Disneyland. And then there was baddie Liz Warren trying to smear Jeff Sessions and Chuck Schumer sputtering like a river otter with bad hair.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Meanwhile, Barack Obama checked out the Democratic Party to bro down in the Caribbean with Richard Branson. Can't say I blame the guy. Kite surfing is as good a reason as any to leave the party in shambles. It's as if Obama just got divorced from America. He got the settlement check and then took off for Thailand, making up for lost time. Later, America, you suck. He's a great guy. In fact, I did something similar on my last vacation.
Never do that.
No, that's what I tell the ER. That's why I'm all covered with that stuff.
Right.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please
Can I
do.
ask Baldwin a question? How did you guys react to the fact that more women marched than went to Trump's inaugural?
That
they lied.
Prove it! Prove it!
It's pictures, Baldwin. It's pictures. Pictures don't lie, you know. Well, some of you've done do, but I mean, real still photos.
Okay, I can, if you allow me to react to that, in the areas where there was a march, more women voted for Trump. You're talking about metropolitan areas in New York City and LA where she had more women vote for her. It's easy for them to get to the city. The people that vote for Trump are not going to get in their trucks and drive to New York and anti-march.
67,000 cities.
67,000 cities? I hardly. There's
67 towns and cities.
67? Oh, that's nothing. I have like restraining orders in 67 cities.
Well, I've been arrested in that many, but it's...
No, Bob, I got to be honest. I think it's great. I think it's a one. All those gals came out and they protested and they spoke their minds and. Amen. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's because you were taking pictures of them, weren't you?
No.
That'd be you. That'd be you.
Cat.
That'd be you.
What is the Democratic Party going to do if they're still? I mean, it's like Hillary is the party guest that won't leave. It's like they're trying to get her to the door. They start doing everybody's doing the dishes at the party, and she's still talking. You know.
I think that.
Please go, lady. Please go. We've got to get. We're going to bed.
People think Elizabeth Warren thinks she's the future, which I mean that performance was ridiculous. First of all, she's quoting Ted Kennedy, like, let's listen to that guy.
Yeah, he's pro-woman.
And all people were, right, exactly. People were
He
comparing.
drowned them with affection.
People, yeah.
Old
Good one, Greg. Old joke, but a good one.
People were comparing her to Rosa Parks for that.
Yes.
People were comparing, if she is Rosa Parks for reading quotes, then I'm like Joan of Arc for getting out of bed this morning. Like, can we calm down, please?
Yeah.
That was really
good old Pocahontas. That's because she's down in the polls.
Right.
And needed a little fundraising boost, so she got up there and was out of line.
That's right.
And trying to like just gin up some cash, a little bit of monopoly money to keep her in office. That's so sad.
And that over-imbibing majority leader from Tennessee or Kentucky, wherever he's from, gave her the perfect situation for an ad.
Oh, is that what it was?
Shut her down. Yeah, he shut her down.
I think you got a good point. The Dems are really good at setting up old school Republicans. They set the trap. They turned her into a victim. They shouldn't have They should have just kept letting her talk. Because the more she talks, the more you make Republicans.
But I think it's interesting.
And the less you have to listen to McDougal. What's his name? McConnell?
McDougal, yeah, that's it.
But it also shows how in the using of Coretta Scott King's words and things like that, you see how they're getting all tricky there? They'll say, but these are her words, and if they're kind of negatively reflecting something, then, well, we don't mean it to be negative, and just talking about who he is.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't really get it either, to be honest.
No, they're saying that.
Baldwin, you just went on a riff that sounded great.
Elizabeth Warren read a letter by Coretta Scott King.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the letter, right?
Someone help me.
I'll tell you what.
Get out of here.
It's probably a good idea we just let Ms. King rest in her grave. Okay?
Well, that's Liz Warren. That was the point he was making.
That's what we're trying to say.
That's what he's saying.
That's the point.
You took that long to say that?
Yeah.
You gotta put it through the Bob.
Sorry, Bob.
This is like being at the scariest dive bar, and you think that at any moment there's going to be a fight or a gunshot.
But now this,
or the worst.
Now that this side of Bob's coming out, you said you wanted to come upstate with me.
Yeah.
So here's what we should do. We should start a militia group up there,
Oh
me and
my
you,
God.
and we'll call it Rule 19.
Somebody,
Get it?
somebody gets shot.
That's good. I like that.
All right. Up next, Stephen reaches over and snaps Bob's suspenders. More after this. Welcome back. I'm really excited to introduce our new sponsor for the show. It's a new drug called Victima.
It's not what it used to be. It used to work fine, but now it's not working at all. The Democratic Party, it's not performing. It's slow, sluggish, confused, prone to fits of despair. It may be time for Victima. Victima. When your old and tired identity politics no longer work, Victima gives you that added boost to get you to where you want to be.
I started taking Victima, and now I can yell at successful people much louder than before.
When I take Victima, I see everyone as racist. It really works.
Victima allows you to take advantage of your body's secret source of grievances, so you have more energy to call people names like homophobe or Islamophobe.
Yesterday, I could barely call Donald Trump a bigot. But after taking Victima, I left 12 messages at Senator Tim Scott's office calling him an Uncle Tom. We ready, guys?
Victima. When identity politics is dead, we breathe new life into your dying party. Warning, do not take when pregnant or driving. Better yet, just don't take it at all. Instead, get a life.
That may have been the only drug I never took.
That's the only drug you never took. That's
true. I took every drug, legal and illegal there is. I don't remember taking
What's wrong with your party? When are they going to just disown this victimization crap?
It's embarrassing.
Well, you keep talking about victimization. What?
No, your party is now a cobbled together group of identity blocks, and you still lost.
Usually, we still lost. We didn't exactly have the best candidate in the world, and we lost against a guy that I can't even think about it.
Who had a message and was able to engender a tremendous movement throughout this country, and his
so
rallies were packed.
And does some good things, steps all over his message.
Identity politics elected Donald Trump is the way I see it. But anyway.
I'm just curious, Bob, you think we should get rid of the Electoral College?
Should we get rid of it? Nah, I did for a while, but I don't think...
For a minute?
I think it's the same reason you have two senators from small states. I mean, small states with nobody paying attention to them, so I think it makes some sense.
Yeah, sometimes when no one pays attention to you, you can do crazy things.
I learned that in my life.
Yeah, me too.
The problem was that there were people watching I didn't know.
Yeah, that can be an issue.
Yeah.
It is, these days anyway. That's why I leave no observers where I am. My private little hell.
It's very easy to play the victim, though. That is, I've done it, but only in my personal life. Like in relationships, if they're mad at me, then you're like, well, and then they'll apologize, and then you're up here.
Right. Well done.
I don't know what kind of dude you ran around with, but that line wouldn't work.
Well, no, you're more manipulative about it than that.
Oh, I see.
This is a therapy.
Final thoughts. Next. Oh, we're running out of time, so.
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Bob.
Well, let me say, Greg, it's been a real pleasure being here. You got a great audience, great series of guests. I think it's a very good show.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want to buy a good book, it's called I Should Be Dead. That's my book. And I should have been dead, and I was saved by grace. And it's not about politics.
There you go.
It's about overcoming addictions.
Get that book. It's fantastic. Kimberly.
All right, Greg, pleasure being here with your fantastic audience. You guys, well done tonight. And Greg, congratulations on stealing me from Jesse Waters from Waters World.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
How valiant of you.
Yes, my favorite Baldwin.
I just want to say it's great to be here as well. Congratulations to my very good dear friend Greg Gutfeld for all his success with the new show.
All right, and to bring it down, Kat Timpf.
So today I thought I left my oven on, burned my whole apartment, and my cat was dead. I went back, oven wasn't on, apartment on fire, but I just realized I didn't actually check to see if my cat was dead or not.
Wow. Yeah. Well, maybe you'll have dinner when you get home.
Yeah, I'll update you.
Ew.
Oh, stop it. It's a cat. I love Cats, the musical. Thanks to Bob Beckel, Kimberly Guilfoyle, Stephen Baldwin, Kat Timpf, our studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.